Good evening. Rachel Herman here, Director of Secondary Teaching and Learning, and I am here to talk to you tonight about TCI, which is our recommended resource for our social studies curriculum at the secondary level. So I'm going to go ahead and share the presentation. All right, so again, our rationale for adoption of this resource is that the state revised their standards in 2018 when we began this curricular revision. The last revision took place over 20 years ago, so we are long overdue for this redesign. And as we uncovered through our curricular design process, we realized that we really have a need for a curricular resource to support our teaching and learning of the new standards. So our teacher feedback around this resource was that hands down, TCI came back with the highest ratings across the board as measured against the rubric that we used for the resources that we piloted. So TCI aligns to the inquiry design model in which students answer compelling questions by formulating arguments using primary and secondary sources. And so I'm going to get into that in a little bit where I show some examples of the compelling questions that TCI formulates for the teacher so that they're not creating those on their own. The online platform is user-friendly. It was often called during the pilot process the Facebook platform, in that there was very little teaching that needed to be done in terms of how to use the actual platform. It was just very easy to use, easy to navigate. Very important to us that it was iPad compatible. We are an iPad district, and so for our students especially who are navigating all of their learning on that iPad, it was really important that the resource was aligned to that. Our students and teachers found the topics on TCI to be very relevant, very engaging, and in alignment with our standards, the resource offered multiple perspectives aligned to various concepts and events as they pertain to social studies. And then I would say what was most important to our teachers was that enrichment activities as well as differentiated scaffolds were built directly into the platform. And why I highlight this is that in our root cause analysis, when we were digging into our data, when we were looking at why are our students performing the way that they do, one of the things that we uncovered was that our students come to us with a wide array of needs and strengths. And so the fact that this resource had so many scaffolds and so many activities built directly into that was a real support for our teachers. Last month, I shared with you some overarching student feedback, and so this month I thought I would share with you some just direct anecdotal feedback that they had given us as part of the survey. And so some of their responses were that what they read and the activities that they did were engaging and relevant, and again, we know that student engagement directly connects to student achievement. Again, students told us that it was really easy to navigate on the iPad. Hands-on experiences were fun. And so again, students having fun in school, that's important to us. That hands-on learning is a pillar of TCI. They build that into almost all of their units of study. The reading supports were helpful. So again, tools that TCI offers in terms of annotations on the text, bolding in terms of certain vocabulary words. Those are reading supports that are built directly in. TCI ensures that vocabulary words are pre-taught in advance, and our students identified that that was something that was helpful to them. Interaction of the visuals was helpful to the students, and then many of our students commented that everything being translated in Spanish was also very helpful. So some of the key features and highlights of TCI, first and foremost, is that TCI was the only resource that we found that directly aligned to the Wisconsin state standards. And so any state in which TCI sells to, they crosswalk that state's standards. And they do that in partnership with a company called Edgate. And so you can see here that they directly align to our state standards, and that was really important to us. Again, making sure that we're teaching to the standards ensures that we are delivering a rigorous curriculum. Additionally, you can see here, this is just a screenshot of one unit of study in our U.S. history platform. And I just highlighted here that this is what teachers come into when they see that overview of the unit. And so you can see that they have the approximate time that this unit would, I'm sorry, excuse me, the lesson, the time that the lesson would take. They can click on how to differentiate the instruction. They can click on enhancements to the learning. And then TCI offers a complete lesson guide. And so we often talk in Waukesha about teachers having to curate their own curriculum. If my student has this teacher, they get this experience. And if I go down the hall, they get this experience. This is a resource that really ensures that fidelity of experience regardless of the teacher that your child has. And again, that's really important to us, and it allows for teacher collaboration. It allows for just really ensuring that, again, we're teaching to the standards and we're teaching high quality materials. Additional key features is, again, TCI is fully available in Spanish. This is incredibly important in our middle school level where social studies will be taught in Spanish in our dual language classrooms. There are curated inquiry-based assessments for each unit of study. So again, our teachers are not curating those on their own. Something that's really important in social studies, we often say we do not want to teach students what to think. We want to teach students how to think. And so the essential questions that TCI provides us are all argument-based questions. And so if you look at some examples, were the American colonists justified in rebelling against British rule? Was the rise of industry good for the United States? Why did the first empires decline, and how did new empires rise to take their place? So our goal is to provide students with primary, secondary sources, provide them with information, but at the end of the day, our goal is to get them to write and support their arguments with information, not tell them what the right answer is. Complex reading and writing tasks are designed in the platform to occur daily. And then, of course, we want to promote collaborative experiences for students, which is also a pillar of TCI. Our professional development plan for implementation would begin this summer. We already have teams planning to come in consultation with TCI to develop our scope and sequence and the syllabi for each course. We plan on developing our Blackboard sites for social studies to include professional learning modules on how to utilize the platform, in addition to, of course, how to navigate some of the units of study that might be more complex. And then we would launch this platform with all teachers at our Summer Institute in August. Throughout the 22-23 school year then, we would continue to develop our work. And for more specifics on that, I've attached Appendix C, which is also in the executive summary, where you can see dates, times, and some of our action steps that we plan to achieve should this resource be adopted. The cost, we are looking at around $262,000. This includes a 6-year teacher licensure, a 6-year student licensure for the online text, and then we would also be getting a 30 sets, a class set of 30 to be housed in our library media center, so that, again, students who, for whatever reason, can't access their iPad have access to the resource. It also includes students' consumables. So we have within the resource, there are different activities that have consumables. Those come with it. And then the vendor, again, this is a vendor that only does social studies. And they provide 6 years of professional development with us, which is fantastic. They can come on site. They come virtually. They are incredibly responsive to our needs. And so we're really excited to be able to work with them. An important note, because you have not seen human geography anywhere talked about in this presentation, so just wanted to note, I made reference of this last month, but human geography, again, we have not been successful in finding a textbook resource to support that course. And so our plan continues to be that we will be using the AP textbook, which has already been approved by the board, to support that regular level course. Both our student and the teacher feedback was very supportive of this decision. And our teachers are going to plan to meet this summer to align the book to the themes and the units of study within that course. Each student is going to have access to the online version of the text, and we've already purchased a class set of hard copies for each site. We plan on presenting that class syllabus, which will include the units of study, the assessments, to the board in the fall for approval. The total cost to add on our regular level students to get those licenses is $84,000. And so I will be there on July 12th to take questions. I will have some teachers with me to also take your questions. And if you have any trouble accessing the online resource, TCI, I know I shared directions on how to do that in your again, executive summary, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thanks so much.